This is your WCIA 3 forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Hey, good evening to you. Thanks for joining us here tonight, 10 o'clock on this Monday evening. Another crisp and cool night in store for us. Clear skies out there for the most part after a day where temperatures once again made it up into the 60s, but it is cooling off here tonight. Look at this, now down to 47 in Champaign, 50 in Springfield. Going to be a little bit of a chill to the air as you head out the door early tomorrow morning. So much so you might grab a jacket. Look at where we start here into the low 40s, but we do find our way back to those 60s for highs once again. Another kind of a breezy day. We'll talk about how long some of this nice, mild weather is going to stick around when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
One facility, 3 inmate deaths in the last few years. How some are hoping for change. Plus, a dog's accidental death last year brought criticism against Champaign County's animal control. How local leaders are looking to you for change.
And the state's population is decreasing while minority populations are increasing. What that means for redrawing political maps.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
It's just a sad situation for everybody.
And it's not the first time this has happened. Another inmate has died at the Vermilion County Jail. Good evening. I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. 3 inmates have died at that facility since 2018. All 3 of them were from Hoopeston. Their friends and families want to shine a light on what's happened so it doesn't happen again. WCIA 3's Bryce Beament joins us live from the newsroom. So, Bryce, what do we know about this most recent death?
The Sheriff's Department wouldn't speak on camera, but they say Josh Edwards was found unresponsive in his cell yesterday by a correctional officer during a routine cell check. They say they tried resuscitation efforts and called an ambulance, but Edwards was pronounced dead. 2 other inmates from Hoopeston have also died while in the same facility. Jamie Moore died in 2018 after a fight with officers while being moved from his cell. He was tased and died several hours later. 6 officers were involved. The cause of death was tied to pre-existing heart conditions. His family hired an attorney and will be receiving compensation. The same attorney is also representing Tommy Dalton's family. He died in February last year from pneumonia. I spoke with a friend of the 3 men. She hopes to bring attention to their deaths because she wants better treatment for inmates.
These families that have to bury their loved ones that shouldn't even died. You know, it could have been prevented.
She was personally impacted by a similar situation. She had to bury her brother-in-law who died in a different Illinois prison. I reached out to the Vermilion County State's attorney and didn't hear back. I am also waiting to hear from the attorney representing the families who lost their loved ones. In the newsroom, I'm Bryce Beament, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Bryce, thank you. Tommy Dalton's family's lawsuit named a jail nurse, 6 deputies, and the Vermilion County Sheriff as defendants. It claims they were negligent in preventing Dalton's death. All of the information about these cases can be found on our website.
2 people are dead, 2 others in the hospital after 4 shootings over the weekend in Champaign County. Neighbors and city leaders say they're devastated to see a rise in violence in CU. Investigators say most shootings haven't been random. The mayor of Urbana is afraid more innocent people, like the toddler hurt last week, could be caught in crossfire.
It's remarkable that we don't see this happening more often because the people are, committing these acts more often. So it's just remarkable that there haven't been more people hurt. But even one, no matter what age, innocent victim is one too many.
A community coalition meeting is scheduled for Wednesday. Organizer Tracy Parsons expects this weekend's violence and ways to address it will be discussed. Urbana Police Chief Brian Serafin updated the City Council tonight regarding 2 of the shootings over the weekend. What's concerning to him is the number of bullets fired in one of those incidents. On Friday night, 60 bullets of different calibers were shot. He says there's no evidence to suggest Friday's and Sunday's shootings are connected. Police are investigating.
We have a follow-up after a dog was accidentally euthanized in December. The Champaign County Board is now taking a closer look at animal control policies, and they want your input. The bulk of reforms will be centered around how animal control deals with loose dogs. In December, Monica Lopez was notified that animal control had her dog. He was euthanized before she could pick him up. Animal Control said it was a mistake, but they received a slew of backlash online. Now the county board chair says they're open to hearing suggestions about all of the current policies.
So right now we don't really have specifics. Just kind of looking at the whole policy to see what what the adjustable aspects of it are, and what impact that those could have.
If you're interested in sending your recommendations to the county board, you can go to WCIA.com. State lawmakers are moving ahead with a plan to draw political maps and districts for the next decade, even before the census data is in.
Yeah, Illinois is losing population overall, but some groups are getting larger, complicating that push to draw accurate maps. Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell has the latest after today's hearing in Springfield.
Federal law requires redistricting plans to respect minority representation.
The Voting Rights Act requires states to protect the voices of racial minorities, groups that are growing in Illinois even as the overall population declines.
The Hispanic and Asian population across Illinois are projected to see growth.
But the full census data won't come out until the fall. In the meantime, lawmakers plan to use partial data from the American Community Survey.
We've had people testify on the record that ACS data undercounts minority populations and rural communities under 65,000.
House Republican Tim Butler warned using that data could dilute the voices of Hispanic voters especially.
The Latino population in Illinois is actually higher than the African American population, but that's not represented in the Illinois General Assembly. It's not.
Hispanics make up more than 11% of Illinois voters, but just 7% of the state legislature and just one of Illinois' 18 members of Congress.
Should we draw another Hispanic congressional district? Absolutely. That's something that these map makers ought to take into consideration.
Can the Latino caucus have stronger representation in this next map?
Yes, of course. The numbers are there.
House Democrat Elizabeth Hernandez said she and her colleagues are poring over all kinds of data to make sure no voters get left out.
They want to hear their voices heard, what matters to them. So those who get elected based on those who believe in that they are representing their voice, and that's what it comes down to.
Senate Democrats Omar Aquino and LG Sims responded, saying Republicans seek to silence black and brown communities nationwide. They say the map in Illinois will reflect that diversity. Meanwhile, Governor Pritzker had threatened and pledged to veto any map that a politician draws when he was running for office. But now that he's in office, he describes a fair map as one that reflects that diversity of the state's makeup and makes no mention of taking that power out of the hands of politicians. Reporting in Springfield, Mark Maxwell.
A spokesperson for Speaker Chris Welch's office said he, quote, has every intention of meeting the constitutional deadline of June 30th. Another indication Democrats plan to send a map to Pritzker's desk for his approval.
Switching now to the latest on COVID-19 in Illinois, hospitalizations jumped overnight by more than 160 people. Nearly 2,000 are in the hospital. The number of new cases decreased slightly to just over 2,400. Another 18 people died. The positivity rate has not changed since yesterday. It's still at 4.9%. Close to 65,000 people were vaccinated yesterday. Our 7-day average is more than 132,000, and we are slowly approaching a quarter of the state being fully vaccinated, but still have a few percentage points to go on that front. Starting today, people over 16 in Illinois are eligible for the vaccine. 16 and 17-year-olds can get the Pfizer shot. IDPH says it's a big step in returning to normalcy. Teenagers are learning in person again, playing sports at high schools across the state, and the vaccine can be an added level of security.
This vaccine is a win-win for the teenager, for their freedom, as well as for the parent to not worry about what the teens are doing with their friends or outside in schools.
If you're in Champaign County, you can look for open appointments at Carl, but CUPHD says places like Walgreens and Walmart also have supplies of Pfizer, and that's your next best place to look. The Macon and Vermilion County Health Departments say to check with those kinds of pharmacies as well.
Facebook started a new campaign to make sure you get accurate COVID vaccine information. It'll soon feature links to local health websites to help people determine if they're eligible for the vaccine and how to get it. It's also removing posts with misinformation about the vaccine, as well as pages and groups that repeatedly share vaccine conspiracy theories or false claims. So far, Facebook says it removed 16 million pieces of misinformation. A road in one city is now closed for safety. People in Danville may have to find an alternate route until the problem's fixed. Here's the area we're talking about. Seminary Street will be closed from Colette to Washington until further notice. People headed west can take Colette, and if you're headed east, Washington is the detour. Junction Street will also be closed until further notice. The overpass is for a railroad. The city of Danville has to wait for the railroad to fix the problem. Until then, the mayor encourages people to stay away from the area.
Do not play around in this area. Do not go under there with stuff collapsing. You could be harmed. And so we want to make sure that you do everything you can to be safe.
A fence and barricades are up, so you know which area to avoid.
Illinois football has been practicing for several weeks. How fans can get an up-close look at the beginning of the Bielema era.
Plus, soon it'll be all aboard at one museum when they'll reopen for business.
All right, Kevin, a little chillier than the start of last week, but we were talking during the 9 o'clock newscast, sort of a chiller April so far.
Yeah, I mean, we started out, mild, but now we're going to be heading back into this cooler weather pattern. It's going to stick around. It looks like maybe through the third week of April here. So get used to this pattern, which isn't overall too bad, that's for sure. As we take a look, that's our Flooring America weather right now. Carriage Crossing camera indicator looking in the downtown area, all lit up. High temperatures today, 64, not bad, close to average. Even the low, 42, close to normal, but we're going to go a little bit below normal the next few days. We'll talk about temperatures cooling off and how the overall pattern stays pretty dry. Coming up.